from Cleveland, Ohio, with more updates on Roundhead Ruin Johnson's endless and despicable trolling on Twitter. It's like the boy has nothing better to do than troll people on social media because his supposed Star Wars trilogy has been seemingly pushed to the back burner, which I reported on a while ago, but people have recently been picking up on. So let's go ahead and get to it right on the horse's ass himself, his very own Twitter page, where he posted on May 3rd. I guess he retweeted something by Priscilla Page, which was posted about 4 years ago now, this December, saying my dick is a Mary Sue, and he's saying it's poetry. And of course, you know I had to chime in with my own response, basically saying, boy, you do realize your opinions are entirely irrelevant, don't you? I mean, you came this close to killing the franchise and probably lost your trilogy, and now you want to guarantee your termination? Damn, you suck. And that's my reaction entirely. But, here's the thing, though. Someone named Kevin, which you can see on the screen here, says he actually tries to make a coherent argument, engage on an adult level here, okay? And Johnson, of course, is behaving like an immature brat, as always. But let's go ahead and read this exchange here, okay? Kevin says, OMG, look at me. I ignore criticism of story and only point to ridiculous examples. Ruin Johnson replies, ROFLMD Goff. Kevin responds, come on, dude, the writing between stories has flaws. Pointing that out is not a problem. Good writing is expected. Ruin Johnson, yes, I absolutely see your well laid out and rational argument that my dick. Kevin, okay, my point is that while it may be the Night King or Snoke, if you build up a hero or enemy, not paying it off is cheap, be it for character development or not. If you lay the groundwork for characters, pay it off. It's not brilliant to surprise viewers. Johnson, yes, I absolutely agree that you should not kill off a villain without explaining their, my dick. And of course, Vivian from Hey Viv says, how dare you? Tanner Todora Willard says, Viv, he's insane. Also love your videos. Glad you allowed subtitles too. I'm deaf, so it feels nice to be included. All right. Then of course Tyler says, still on the defense long after the movie I see. Why is that? Ruin Johnson, because my dick. Basically, Ruin Johnson, just continues to behave like an immature brat. His movie was an abject failure. His entire response, even to, legit criticism and attempts to address, attempts to point out, okay, but this is why people are angry and upset with you because you made a movie that basically called them assholes for expecting a payoff to things that had been set up in the previous movie. Basically like like normal people would expect, but Johnson is like, and of course it's been pointed out, that with Emperor Palpatine in Return of the Jedi, there was a build-up before killing him off. There was no build-up for Snoke. And Ruin Johnson just killed him off saying, oh, he's nobody, and you're all assholes for even expecting answers to who this guy is. In fact, you were actually posting pictures with holding a sign saying, all your Snoke theories suck. Because reasons, I don't know, but you're being an immature bitch. A literal clown here. Because, everything's got to revolve around your dick, apparently. Maybe that's where your brains are. I don't know. But, this is not the sort of behavior that really should be coming out from someone who claims to be still on the Disney payroll and therefore representing the company. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, you are technically still a Disney employee. Maybe your trilogy has been pushed to the back burner. Maybe it's been canceled. I don't know. I think it's telling that the slate of releases that Disney put out last week, basically its release schedule going into the 2020s, has Star Wars trilogies, but word has it that it's not your trilogy that's due to be made over a period of 6 years. No, it's David Weiss and David Benioff from Game of Thrones, or as I like to call it, Gang of Moans, because the audience is moaning because of what your gang is behind the scenes and making all these changes that really are just pissing all over fans of the show. It's like, oh, what, you expected a payoff to everything? You expected well-written stories after we ran out of George R. Martin material to adapt? Fuck you. No, well, fuck you, assholes, and fuck you, Rian Johnson. I mean, you decided to toss out shade at people without any justification whatsoever. You made that choice. You made a bad movie that insulted fans, that insulted even people who are not fans of Star Wars, but who expected, at least a decent and entertaining movie, and you told them, oh, you're fucking imbeciles for expecting any kind of payoff or anything. I mean, you deliberately went out of your way to try and end the present trilogy early just so you could get to your own faster. And we know this because of the script you wrote, which you said was 90% your first draft. I mean, come on, what kind of moron writes, makes a movie based on the first draft of a screenplay? Well, you apparently, but, no one else is that dumb, at least I hope not. Because, honestly, you write like a sixth grader writing fanfic, and bad fanfic at that. Someone who actually despises Star Wars and anyone who likes it, and just goes out of his way to insult people for liking it. You're the one doing all this. So, and you're even doing it to people who are trying to be civil with you, who are trying to engage with you on an adult level, but you're incapable of doing that, Rian Johnson, because you are a child. An overgrown, selfish, stupid, egotistical little child who was probably raised by overgrown children. No one ever told you, no one was willing to be the adult in the room and tell you you cannot write to save your life. You graduated from a school, obviously, that doesn't teach anything about film history or film theory or screenwriting or any of what makes a film actually work. No one was willing to be the adult and tell you, you suck. Go back to retake this course and pay attention this time, or we're flunking you out of the program. And you will not be allowed back in. No one was willing to do that. So, I could almost have pity for you, in that regard, because no one ever taught you how to behave. No one ever taught you how to write or tell a good story. I could almost feel sorry for you, except you keep pulling this stupid shit. You keep insulting people and behaving like a child because you never learned how to behave like an adult. But you're supposed to be an adult by now, Rian. And you have free will. You can choose to grow up, behave like an adult, tell good stories, but you'd rather sit in your little bubble pretending that you're some kind of genius because you insult fans, because you run billion-dollar franchises into the ground. But at the end of the day, you're just a selfish, spoiled little child whom no one can engage with on any kind of rational level because you refuse to behave rationally. So yeah, what do you think? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think I'm full of it? Do you think Ruin Johnson should be locked up in a loony bin? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. And if you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or Subscribestar page. We can't do this without you. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for the Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.